Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to One Nation Israelite School's Morning Talk, where we come to the nation bright and early to give our people the word and give them a spiritual dipping to get their day started off. Shalom, 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 and thank you for joining me again here at One Nation Israelite School Morning Talk. All righty. This morning, I got a very serious topic, a good show lined up for you all. We're going to have an interview, a very serious matter. So get yourselves together. I'm going to let this instrumental play out for you. I'm going to start it back at the top as I prepare my coffee. And we're going to get right into this thing. Shalom.
This is a big party, man. I can dig it.
Right on.
Come on, man. Excuse me for a second, y'all. Hello. Hello. Nah, I'm over here dropping this morning class. I'm over here dropping this morning class real quick. Yeah, what you radio you wanna? I know they don't open till like 9. All right, all right, shalom. Excuse me for that, Israel. We'll pick back up in the morning talk. They ready to actually drop the interview. But y'all know, in the famous words of the one and only, wake your ass up. All righty. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I know as of right now, like I always say, I'm preparing my coffee. We got a little hot chocolate over here brewing, whatever the case may be. Get your drink. I know some of y'all probably headed to work right now, like, damn, baby, damn. Okay. Today, yes, once again, I want you to understand today is a very serious topic. We're going to dig into it, try to give you something to put on your brain, because as we do the morning talk, we also don't want to overlook the serious issues that are plaguing the Black community, you Israelites. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to touch serious topics along with other topics that we can laugh and joke and play, and other topics that we get just spiritual stuff, things that'll keep us in tune with our spirit, with the Most High. Today we're going to deal with an issue that's plaguing the Black community, and that a lot of people are suffering from, and some people never received the proper counsel or closure from. And we're going to touch that. I also have two sisters that are going to, I'm going to let you hear their side, their testimony. I'm not going to I'm going to keep their identities hidden, and we'll get a piece of that. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then, Lord's will, you can see the insight of the damage and the trauma that these things can cause. Okay, so with that, let me give you one more instrumental as I put the last touches on my coffee, and then we'll get right into it.
My name is Grover.
Alrighty. Welcome to One Nation's Israelite School Morning Talk, where remember this segment was opened up because right now with some things that I'm going through, my day gets so busy that I was finding myself slacking on dipping in the Most High's word, and I don't want to be guilty when I lay down, have that feeling of guilt. So I decided to do this segment where I could get my spiritual dipping in before my day actually gets going. Okay, so today's topic is a very serious topic. It's a very serious topic. Today's topic is called is Morning Talk, episode 2. Today's topic is rape. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to start off with a clip. Y'all have to hear this where this it's sick, and I want y'all to understand that this is not accurate. The Israelites do not believe that it's okay to rape anyone. We don't believe it's okay to rape anyone. But I want you to hear this message before we actually even get into the class, all right? So hear this really quick, and then we'll be back.
Look, I have 2 daughters that are virgins. Remember, Lot was known for what? His righteousness, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man.
They're virgins. Go ahead.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
What does that mean? You can gang rape.
So these women, the bottom line is these women are not to be put on a pedestal.
These women are messed up.
All right, they're subhuman creatures.
Just be for real. You're a fuck. Now, what if someone is overwhelmed by the spirit of the Most High God, and he reads your scripture and he take your daughter and he just rape your daughter? What do you say to that? If he live like you live, walk like you walk, talk like you talk, because y'all live amongst each other.
Yeah.
Y'all live amongst each other. So what happens when one of y'all feels so overwhelmed by the spirit of God that when you see one of each other's daughters, you just grab her up? You gonna tell one of these brothers here, come on, you know the doctrine. You know how it get when you get.
Well, answer it. Which is, if it did happen, you would allow it to happen. Why? Because you go back to the scriptures.
You're supposed to be a brother.
Hold on. You gonna allow one of your brothers to rape your daughter?
You say rape as if rape simply means to grab.
No. We talking about now. We read the verse. Where someone was.
In the kingdom of heaven, when the kingdom is established, we're gonna get women when they 12 years old.
Right.
All right. Say it again. As soon as they start in the kingdom of heaven, when their period starts that's when they become a woman.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna deal with them when their period starts.
Right.
When their monthly starts.
Question.
Have sex with them. Have babies, man.
With 12-year-olds?
Brother, there's in the kingdom we're gonna do that, man. We're gonna get them young. We're gonna get them young.
And the kingdom is coming.
You know the kingdom is right.
3 fantasies of women is to get raped.
That's right.
Who are you? Who are you?
Go ahead, do some research.
Oh my God,
do
I've
some
done
research.
research. You
So,
know,
okay,
I've taken
look up.
classes.
Okay, look it up right now.
Those your daughters?
My daughter.
We're gonna take your daughters. Right? They're gonna be our concubines. That's right.
Hey, somebody might pick you up too. I'll pick you up.
A lot of times these women walk around proud as shit, dressed super proud. Titties out. Proud as hell, man. There's gonna come a time when the man's just gonna take it. There ain't gonna be no police out here to save you.
Right, and I'm gonna say this for everybody got something against rape. You didn't walk down these streets and see all these fucking freaks called women out there. That's a nigga, dude. Talking about all these freaks, all these freak ass bitches, and you ain't had the urge to even a thought of raping that bitch. Hey, you a faggot, man. So all you niggas that come up against that, you a straight faggot. These bitches are offering you pussy. They just playing their little game with you. They want you to run that little race. These bitches is coming outside.
They want that power. They want that power.
But if you haven't had that thought, man, you a straight faggot, man. You ain't thought, man, I can easily bust that bitch over the head. You ain't had that thought, man, you a straight faggot. You ain't thought, man, I can easily bust that bitch over the head. You thought, man, I can easily bust that bitch over the head. Take you a faggot, bro. This shit, that's all that's the ideas they putting out with these outfits, man.
Look at these little sluts, man. Little sluts like that, they want Jake, man. Little sluts. They want niggas, man. They want hoes. Yeah, they white hoes. Yeah, little white hoes. Cave bitches. They want big black guys, man. Fuck white bitches, man. That's right. White bitches. Fat, ugly, nasty white bitches, man. White bitches are going into slavery, man. That's right. All right. But on this side, guess what? If you look good, you're gonna get chased down. You're gonna get. Hey, look, man, because rape isn't just some. Oh, we gonna be making love. Well, we love the white woman, man. We gonna grab you by your fucking leprous hair. All right, might slice your neck a little bit. All right, have you bleed. Give you a few jabs, man.
All righty. So as you can hear, first of all, the Most High isn't stirring anybody's spirit up to go out and rape anybody. That's just some utterly evil bullshit that this group here in particular is trying to push out and using the Bible to try to push that out. There's no way in the world you can say that rape is okay. That is a terrible, terrible act and should be punishable by death. Okay. Give me a call in. Give me a thought about this here before I get into the interview with the young sister today, or the two women today. If it'd be possible, could you give me a call if you want to give your input on what we just heard, which is 407-914-3225. Again, that's 407-914-3225. Call in, give us your thoughts on what you just heard, where these sickos are actually putting out a message that it's okay to rape women and that rape will be allowed in the kingdom. And, you know, just a despicable thing that you heard. Okay. We got our first call coming in. Let's get it on. Let's get it in. Let me see. Shalom, shalom. Welcome to One Nation Israelite School Morning Talk.
Shalom.
What's going on, brother? Who am I speaking with?
I'm talking to Brother Solomon and Benjamin.
Solomon the Benjamin. What's going on? Shalom, Op.
Everything going well. It's just that, man, I just heard, you know, the little clip you played, and I just want to say them Negroes sick as hell.
Right.
They don't walk they damn head. They can't show me no scripture where the Most High said that rape is right.
Exactly.
They can't show no scripture like that, but these sick individual, mentally defuncting ass dudes really got it in their head that you can walk down the street and rape. Who gets aroused by 12 years old? I don't give a damn what you say, man. Man, listen, these some damn idiots.
Right.
Talking about you gonna rape my daughter at any cost, your ass getting put to death.
Exactly. And then what part gets to me? This nigga this disgusting nigga said that if you haven't at least had the thought to rape somebody, you are a faggot.
Ain't nobody no faggot, and nobody just ain't sick in the head like he is.
Right.
The man retarded, man. They need to put his ass in some kind of mental asylum, lock his ass up, and throw away the key.
Right. And so, yeah, I'm listening to this foolishness, and I'm like, wow. And it's niggas like them that push that false doctrine, and then they throw our nationality in it, and then make us all look like monsters.
Right, man. Them ain't no kind of them ain't no Israelite. Them Israelite rejects. That's what they are.
Right. So with them sitting there saying that it's okay to rape, you're a faggot if you ain't thought about raping somebody, and then on top of that, we're gonna sleep with 12-year-old girls and all this other stuff. Come on, man, get the hell out of here, dude.
They done developed the slave master's mentality.
Right, but it's people like them. Like, this is what's heavy. The man said, making fun of them. He said, if you got a daughter and somebody rapes her that's supposed to be living the same way as you, they rape her, what would you do about it? He said, I would allow it to happen because I go back to the scriptures. Now, the scriptures don't justify that at all. But here's the problem with that. That's the issue. What's wrong with the black community now? We oftentimes criticize the victims and give glory to the villain. Right now, that's why there's 1,000,001 people that have lost their mind behind rape situations, because we got niggas like them.
Right. And shit, that come from that Roman mentality when they used to wrestle each other, man, butt naked.
Right. Hold on. Say that again.
That come from that Roman mentality, man, because it come from when they used to wrestle each other butt naked. The one who end up on top end up raping the one at the bottom, and then everybody started criticizing the one at the bottom who just got raped.
Right. Con. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this topic because I got the two sisters that's going to actually be telling their story today, and it's a very terrible situation. And you know, it kind of feeds into how you just said in the Roman spirit. In the Rome spirit, when they raped the man or a woman, when they raped the man who was raped was the one who was looked at like, oh, you so terrible. How could you let this happen? And the one who did the raping was actually glorified. Well, that's no different than with the police today. The police can rape somebody, and the state and the government, everybody else will take the police's side, and the victim is criticized.
That's crazy.
So this is a very, very serious issue in the black community. And we're gonna I'm gonna tackle this tough subject today. Is there anything else you want to add to this before I go on?
Well, all I'm saying is they know what that is. That's the same, man. They know what the wages is saying is, man. That's Romans 6:23. Their ass getting put to death.
Right. With that, I say glory to the Father, man. Thanks for calling in, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this.
All right, shalom.
All right, shalom. Glory to the Father, glory to the Father. That's one of our mighty brothers there, Solomon the Benjamite, coming in with some very, very strong pointers, right? So now, what I want to do is I want to go to let's deal with rape as a whole, period. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 22, and we're going to start at verse 22. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 22. Salakia. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 22, because we're going to deal with this here and see what the Bible says about rape, which these liars and evil men proclaim themselves to be coming out of. He said he was going to go back to the scriptures. Well, let's see what the scriptures say concerning rape. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman and the woman. So shall thou put away evil from among Israel. So this right here saying that if a man laid with a woman that was betrothed or married, that him and the woman should both be put to death. If it was consensual by the woman that's married, and of course the man who lied with that married woman, they both should be put to death. Verse 23, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto her husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, because Salakia, the damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so shalt thou put away evil from among you. So the scripture is clear here. The woman didn't cry, meaning she enjoyed it. She was consensual of it. That's big work there, because she cried not, meaning she didn't have an issue with what was going down. She wanted it just as much as the dude that did it. And it was a willing and consensual act. They both should be put to death. Why? Because she's married to another man. She's betrothed to another man. Okay. Here's the point. Verse 25. But if a man find a damsel in the field and force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. Let's read that again. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. So if a man finds a damsel and forces himself upon her, meaning he takes it from her, the Bible says that that man alone should be put to death. It should be treated as when a man rises up against his neighbor and kills him, meaning rape is considered murder to the Most High. Anyone who commits murder shall be put to death. Any man who rapes another woman, any man that rapes a woman, or even another man at that, should be put to death. Thus saith the Lord. So what scripture is he going to revert back to if someone was to rape his daughter? There is none. He should be put to death. The dude that raped his daughter shall be put to death. And if any man is out there raping anybody, or touching or molesting a child, or whatever the case may be, you should be worthy of death. You should receive the same plague written in this Bible. Verse 27. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, meaning she was not willing. She was not consensual. She cried. And what happened? And there was none to save her. There was none to save her. So she fought against him. She screamed. She didn't enjoy it. She didn't want it. She was not consensual, but he overpowered her with his strength, and he took her innocence from her. He took hers innocent from her. Now, what plagues the black community? One thing that plagues the black community heavily is rape and molestation. I gotta say, out of every 8 to 10 cases of counseling that I've done so far while I've been in this truth, as long as I've been counseling, 8 out of every 10 has either been molested or raped. They have either been molested and raped, or raped. And a lot of them have never found closure. Why? Because in a lot of cases, our people suffer from in the black community, a lot of people suffer from what we call respect of persons, or back to the Roman mentality, where we praise. I'm gonna put it like this. Oftentimes in the black community, we praise the villain and condemn the victim, and because of that, they never gain the closure or the strength to move on. In fact, they either, therefore, the people that Salakia, because in the black community, oftentimes we have respect of persons because of someone's stature, or you idolize them in some type of way, you look up to them. We refuse to accept the facts that's been presented in front of us when this person says, this person done this to me. When this person is crying out for help, this person is acting out, we never investigate them. We always look at that person who's the victim. And because of that, those people who are the victims, they never receive the proper counsel, the proper treatment, or the closure that they need to move on. In fact, as time goes on, after acting out, them themselves become, they either whore themselves out, or even worse, they become rapists or molesters themselves. And it's all a spiraling, trickling effect. And sometimes you even get those who are not, they were so destroyed psychologically and mentally that and their spirit isn't built enough that they themselves commit suicide or commit suicide, or they go out victimizing other people. And that's a big problem, because in the black community, we have to stop praising the villain and criticizing and demonizing the victims. We have to stop that. To hell with someone's stature. If there's a rape claim in Israel, as a priest, at the very least, you owe the victim a serious investigation and the proper counsel and treatment that they may be able to move on from this situation. Okay. But in a lot of cases, what I told you, because of someone's stature or the level that you see them at, or that you respect them, you love this person, because remember I said 8 out of 10 people that I've spoken to in counsel, all of them, 8 out of 10 have been molested and raped. Out of the 8 out of 10, 7 out of the 8 were molested by people in their own family. And guess what? Because one loves that family member so much, they refuse to believe the victim, to even do the investigation to look into what the victim is saying. I have family members that have made rape claims, allegations, or molestation allegations, and those situations have been pushed off. As a fact, I have someone near and dear to me that's close to me. He said that he was raped by a particular uncle of ours, right? And he's been saying this for years, and he's spiraled out of control. Even one point, I heard another person in the family admit that after that one particular day, it was a weekend, when he came back to the house, he was never the same. It's like he lost his childhood or something. That was his innocence being stolen from him. But guess what? Because they loved that one particular family member so much that the young boy is saying molested him, they refuse to believe it. They always try to switch it off into another side of the family. And that's where we go wrong. This man has been saying he's been touched or molested or raped by this one particular man in the family for years. And it wasn't like, it's not like he does it every day, but every now and then, like, he spazzed out of control. He goes out and then he'll bring it forth every once in a while again. He'll bring it forth, and his answer has never changed. Who molested him? But our family, because they admire this one particular dude, they keep trying to say, no, it couldn't have been him. It might have been such and such. But you're going to tell the person that was molested, the person that was raped, who did it to them? For years, they've been saying it's the same person. You want to know why you do that? Because you have a respecter. Let's go to Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 17. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 17. And it reads, ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid you shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's, and the cause that is too hard for you to bring is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I will hear it. And I will condemn you at that time and all things which ye should do. And I will command you at that time all the things that ye should do. So we come back to the Most High. Now, the Most High has told us already in his law that rape is worthy of death. He should be put to death. But let's say you have a situation. Bring it to the let's do it like this. You got someone who's telling you they were molested or raped for years. Why haven't we heard them out? Because in our minds, it couldn't be this person. It couldn't be that person. Look at the no. Have no respect of persons when it comes to judgments. Have no respect of persons when it comes to judgment. Okay, you would owe it to the victim, and to be somewhat fair, you owe it to the villain as well to investigate the matter. To investigate the matter, but to shun it off and act as if it's nothing, or to say it can't be this person, that's wrong. That is terrible and a heinous act. You have basically, like, a lot of people have never recovered from being raped because of the way that the rape issue was dealt with. So in that matter, you have done an injustice to the victim and an injustice to the villain. But we more so want to talk about the victim, because the victim is the one who walks around with that psychological damage for the rest of their life. And then I also would like to look into the villain's past, because oftentimes you'll see that the villain was a victim themselves. The villain oftentimes was a victim themselves. And because they didn't receive the proper treatment, the proper counsel, and they probably didn't get the justice probably wasn't brought forth on their case. Now, when it grew psychologically on them, the only way to some people find closure in the most wickedest ways, and that's what? To also go out and ditch out the same evil doing to others, which was done unto them. Okay. So now I want to let's go to let's go to James 2 and 8 really quick. And I want to get the sisters online. Like I said, I'm kind of in a blitz time right now, so I want to get the victims on the phone to tell their story, and then I want to try to put a gas pedal on. I'm not going to rush them. I'll keep them as long as they need, but I want to try to get this handled. I got some things I must take care of this morning. Let's get it. Going to the book of James, chapter 2. James chapter 2, verse 8. If ye fulfill James chapter 2, verse 8. If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. So one of the royal laws, one of the two greatest commandments. One of the two greatest commandments, the first being love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. And the second one being love thy neighbor as thyself, or love thy brother as thyself. Now, if you do that, you do well. Why is it so important to love your neighbor or your brother as you love yourself? Because if we could install that mindset into the black community, no more molestation will go on, no more rape will go on. And when those claims come on, they would not be shunned and pushed to the back burner. just because of who one is or one stature, or because of the way you look at someone, or because you may idol someone in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If we could just install the loving of each other as we love ourselves, all issues in the Black community would disperse, would disappear. Okay? So, and guess what else? Just as if something terrible happened to you, you would want someone to hear your case, you would want somebody to counsel you, you would want somebody to look into what you're saying. If you love your neighbor as yourself, you would do the same thing when that family member or that person or that friend or that whoever the case may be, when they come to you and tell you, this person did this to me. You would dig into it versus, no, that couldn't have been that person because that person is this. Maybe it was this person. No, a victim knows who victimized them, who villainized. The villain knows who he villainized. Now, understand this. If you're dealing with a wicked soul or an evil brother, he's not going to come out and tell you, oh, yeah, you know, I did that. I raped such and such. No, they're not going to tell you that. So their point is to try to remain and say that they did nothing. But your job as a priest, as someone who loves their neighbor as they love themselves, is to at least seriously investigate it without a biased eye. We have to install loving each other as we love ourselves. And then there will be no rape or molestation to investigate in the first case. But if it so happens, then that villain will not walk scotch-free, and that victim will not walk around tormented in their mind, as in, why don't they believe me? Why don't they believe me? We must start somewhere. And I say we start here. Everybody who's been molested and victimized, you should come to the forefront and say who did what to you. And we should have the right to go and seek that person out to get you the closure that you need. And we need to know why and what would be the proper punishment to deal with that matter. Because, and the only reason I say proper punishment to deal with that matter today is because we ourselves are not allowed, due to this wicked government, to go ahead and put that man or that woman to death or whatever the case may be. Because understand this, though I'm speaking in a rape term, don't ever get it mistaken that women can be the only one to get raped and molested. Men get raped and molested too. Some of you women have raped young boys yourselves. And even if we don't want to say the word rape, you've molested young boys yourselves. Oftentimes in the Black community, when a Black man is molested, we push that to the back burner as if it's no issue. But then you wonder, no, it's not okay, because guess what? You doing it to him could trigger him to do it to someone else, and that someone else may turn out to be your daughter. That someone else may turn out to be your young son. So don't ever get it twisted and think that women are the only ones who suffer from molestation and rape. There are young men who suffer from the same things at the hands of some of you older women. It's a lot of you babysitters that touch these young boys. It's a lot of you uncles that touch these young boys. It's a lot of you aunties that touch these young boys. So don't ever get it mistaken. Don't be a respecter of person and judgments. Verse 9, James chapter 2, verse 9. But if ye have respect to the persons, ye commit sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to get these two sisters on the line so they can tell their piece. I'm just going to play it for you so you can hear them. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you their insight on a situation that happened. Sister was forcefully taken by police officers, and of course, just like in the Roman spirit, what do you think the police force is doing? Taking these wicked officers side. Okay, so let me get them on the phone real quick. I'm gonna try to let me get it up for you real quick. Let me see if I get it up. Give me a second, y'all. This thing is acting up. I'm trying to hold on. I can hear you, but they can't hear you. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. All right. Shalom, sister. I was we got the setup going on right now. If you're ready, I'll tell you side. I've already told you I'm not gonna say your name or your identity or anything like that. So is the other sister with you? If it be possible, get both y'all to tell y'all sides or like what happened, and so I could deal with this situation here. If it be possible. Yes. As a fact, you're live now. If you're ready, you can actually start speaking about what happened. Okay. All righty. Let's get it. Yeah, you could go ahead and start now. I'm going to just turn it up so they can hear you.
I was violated in June by a police officer. He stopped me on 50th and Lincoln for no reason.
Okay, so
whatsoever.
you said this was a police officer that did this to this woman here, right? So it was a police officer. I just want to make sure I'm clear. It was a police officer, and you said he stopped you where again?
On 50th and Lincoln for no reason whatsoever. Pulled me over and fondled me and did certain things to me.
So when you when he stopped you, he never gave you a reason for why he stopped you, and then he began to molest you. He began to basically commit sexual assault against you. He fondled you in such acts or whatever. I'm just the only reason I'm speaking because I want to get it clear. As a fact, go ahead, finish what you were saying, so that way I can let the people kind of get a clear description, basically clear out with what you're saying.
Me and did certain things to me. I was out there alone and helpless, what to do. And in my mind, all I could think that he was going to shoot me. He was going to kill me. He did things to me that I didn't think a police officer would do. He made me perform all sodomy sex on him.
Hold on. He made you
what to do.
He made you perform oral sex on him. Now, understand the level of evil that we listening to, y'all. This sister was out there by herself, no protection, afraid that this officer was going to actually kill her. And as he stops her for no reason, doesn't give her a reason for why he stopped her, and then he makes you perform oral sex. Am I right? All right. So go ahead, pick back up. This is sick, man. This is sick. And these are the people that are paid to supposedly protect you. So as you can see, the black woman has no protection under the police force in this wicked country. All right. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
He did things to me that I didn't think a police officer would do.
Right, I understand. That's
he made me perform all sodomy sex on him. I didn't know what to do. I was so afraid. I was afraid for my life. I kept begging him, sir, please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this, sir. Please, you're going to shoot me. He said, I'm not going to shoot you. I said, yeah, you're going to shoot me. The only thing I could see was my life flash before my eyes.
Right.
And the gun.
And I can only imagine the level of fear that was rolling through you at that point in time. And then to be degraded to such a level where you were forced to commit heinous acts upon this man. And then on top of that, the police force is standing behind him. But that's the reason I wanted you on the show, so we can stand behind you and we can, and I will go all the way to the fullest extent beside you and your lawyer in this particular situation. I just want you to know that you're not alone, but this needs to be heard within the black community. All right, because not only do we have an issue with people being raped by people, strangers in the neighborhood, but they're even hold on, give me a sec. They're even getting raped by the so-called police, the people that are supposed to be there to protect. There's no safety for the black woman or the black man in this community. I mean, in this wicked kingdom that is ruled by Esau. We must have the men come back to the forefront as the priests to stand for our people, because if not, we will hear many more cases such as yours, sis. I'm sorry. Now, just rewind a little bit and pick it back up where you were at, if you don't mind. Forgive me. It's just for me, it's a very, very, serious topic. I'm sorry.
Going to shoot me.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to shoot you. I said, yeah, you're going to shoot me. Only thing I could see was my life flash before my eyes.
And I know it was scary.
And his holster on his right side. And as I tried to look up at his name, I was afraid to, because I said, if I know his name, I know he's going to kill me. So that I didn't do. So he did so many things to me, and I was so afraid, and I was out there, like I say, so helpless.
Right.
God's will, he let me live. And he let me live to tell this story like a lot of victims are not able to do.
Right. And even when you think about it, it's some of them that were able to tell a story, but just like in your case, in other cases, it'd be family members that done these things, and the other family members don't want to accept it. And at the same time, and like now with you going through this, the police force are protecting this particular officer that done this thing to you, and they don't want to hear what really happened. But we, like you said, we give glory to we give glory to the Most High that you are still alive and able to tell your story. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
The Lord for letting me do that. All I can say is I was a victim. I was traumatized. I went to therapy. I had a stroke behind this.
See, that's the thing that I was saying about in this world. Our people, you had to go through therapy. You even you took so much mentally and psychologically, you ended up having a stroke behind the situation. But now I'm going to tell you something. You're in the best place for counsel now. The nation of Israel is the #1 counselors on the face of the earth. That is the only safe haven that our people have. And I'm glad that you were able to have the strength to share your story with us. I also want to get the other sister that's with you, because I know she was also a victim And I don't want to hold y'all too long because I know you said you kind of got a lot going on right now. So you don't have to disclose any information about who you are or whatever the case may be, but I want you to know we are going to stand behind you and we are with you. So don't think that you are alone. I just want you to understand that. Go ahead.
Still live with this day after day.
Right, and it's a forever fight.
All I know is I wasn't a criminal. I have no record. I didn't do anything wrong. You said I did something wrong. You said I was swerving, which I was not. You just wanted to stop me.
Right.
So all I could say is I was innocent, and he just picked the wrong lady to stop that night.
That's right. All right, sister. I know that's pretty much what you wanted to give us out of it. I kind of wrote to a market point. If you got anything else you want to add to it, you can. But if not, you could let the other sister come in and give her a little piece of what happened, her account, so the viewers and stuff can actually hear the second part of this. And I need to give you more. I'm gonna reach out to you to give you more counsel on this situation. So yeah, I guess I'll hear from the other sister, hear her brief piece, and then I'll finish this class out, and then I'll give you guys a call back in a second, if that's all right with you.
Me being in a
okay, yeah. So now here's the hold on. Let me click over. All right, I thank you, sister, for giving your piece. I'm gonna click over now because I see she's calling in now. So I'm gonna click over and get her part of what happened, and then, like I said, as soon as I close this class, I'll be calling you back. All right, Shalom, keep your head up, sister. All right. All right, thank you. Let me click over real quick, y'all. Give me a second. Introduce herself. Well, hello. Yeah, good morning, sis. What's going on? Yeah, now remember, I don't have you on the speaker yet. No one can actually hear you. But like I was saying, you don't have to tell the people who you are if you don't feel comfortable doing so. You can just get right into what happened, and then as you tell your part, I'll cut it off, and then I'll like I told you, I talked to I just got off the line with the other sister, which I know you already know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you tell your piece. If you want to give a name of who you are, and that you can, but you are not pressured to do so. Once again, you are not pressured to do so. So you don't have to tell your information, anything like that. You can just give your side of what happened. And then when it's over, as soon as I close out, I'm going to give both of y'all a call back. All right. All right. Okay, go ahead. No problem. You can start right now. Go ahead.
in a room with the police, not expecting to get violated the way I did, the way I was done. I just couldn't even believe it. I was speechless. I was scared. When everything was going down, I felt.
Take your time. I can hear you breaking down. Just, hold it together.
I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was in survival mode, so I had to do what he was making me do.
Right, and that happens in most cases. In situations like that, I understand the fear in you and the reason why you did what you were told to do, because it's the same thing like when we get pulled over and the police pulls his gun on us and he tells us don't move or put your hands up. It's a fearful moment. And in those times, you just do what's told to be done because you don't want to necessarily be put to death. Now, in that situation, I could understand why you were so afraid. You were alone out there. Y'all were alone. It's you, and it's a wicked cop, and as you can see, the system will take that wicked officers back. Why? Because in the community of blacks, and not only in the community of blacks, but even in the world of Esau, they're on respect of persons. They respect the officer, they respect the villain, and they treat the victim as the criminal. And it's a very sad situation. Okay. So sis, I'm sorry, just go ahead. I understand you were afraid. Try to hold it together now. I'm gonna stop it because I'm gonna stop it if it gets too heavy for you, because I can hear you starting to break down as you're telling us the story. So don't force yourself. Don't go further than you can. Don't go any further than you can. All right. Pick it up, sis. Go ahead.
I feel like I was in survival mode, so I had to do what he was making me do. So
hold it together. Go ahead. Okay. Let me stop you. Let me take. Hello. Hello. Okay. All right. Give me a second. I'm gonna call you back in a second. I'm gonna call back in a second. Let me close out the class and I'll call back. All right. All right. But as y'all can see, this is a very traumatizing situation. This sister couldn't actually even tell her full side of the story without becoming emotional. And that's the damage that does to our people. That's the damage. Now, this is a wicked ass police officer that did this to these two sisters, and the system is backing them up, protecting this officer against the victims who were victimized. Okay, so now, I need to get back over and call them because the emotions are there. But I want to go to I want to get something real quick for y'all who love to protect the villain, and criticize the victim. Let's get Isaiah 5:20. I'm gonna get out of here real quick. I need to call them back. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Okay, the scripture says, woe unto them, woe unto every last one of you who victimize the victim. I mean, who criticize and demonize the victim, but yet protect the villain. And that happens far too often, not only with the wicked police force, not only against those in the community that rape random people, but even those who are in the same family who rape other family members or molest other family members. You must stop protecting them. Why? Because in that sense, you are just as worthy of death as the person who did the actual offense. Okay, it's too many cases in the Black community where the victim never receives justice, counsel, or even the proper treatment that they need to move on and recover from those situations. We as a community, the Black community, the Israelite community, must put the hammer down on situations as such. Okay? And we must revert back to the commandments of God. The moral of today's class is no respect of persons. No respect of persons. To bring an eye opener to the molestation and the raping that's going on in the Black community, and to love thy neighbor as thy love thyself. That is the whole point of why we're doing this. And the victims need to be heard. Their voice has to be heard. The villains need to be brought forth. They need to be brought forth. And it doesn't matter how damn cool or how much respect or how much you idolize or look up to the villain. The villain is the goddamn villain, and the villain must be dealt with. Therefore, we can bring closure to the victim. Therefore, the victim doesn't grow into a villain themselves. Today's topic was a very serious topic. I pray that it brought an eye opener and it gave some closure to some of those who were molested or raped. Some type of closure, some type of comfortability to know that you have a safe haven. You have a cover. You are not alone, and that everybody isn't going to judge you for being the victim. That's the point of why I'm here today. So as long as I breathe air, I will do my part to bring an eye and opening to this topic, this subject, and this matter, and every other thing that's plaguing the Black community. For those who, if you want to let your story be heard, please reach out to me at onenationisraeliteschool@gmail.com. onenationisraeliteschool@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, and you can also write us on YouTube. If you want direct contact or you feel you need an avenue to get to me, you can write me personally through my email at Thompson_YesReal. YesReal. Don't talk funny. I know y'all like he spelled it wrong. No, I spelled it wrong on purpose because the email that I wanted spelled properly, the name was taken already. So I put it in backwards. That way I can actually have it. So you will write me at Thompson_YisReal@yahoo.com. Once again, that's Thompson_YisReal@yahoo.com. You can reach me at One Nation Israelite School @gmail.com. And you can also reach us on Facebook in my messengers. All right. So with that, let's go to Matthew's chapter 4. And it reads, Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Then Jesus was led up in the spirit and Salakia. Then Jesus was led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. Verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. So we are not to live off of bread alone, manna, food which thou can eat, but we should live off of every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High God. I pray that today's class brought an opening to you and gave you another insight or vision, another look at molestation and rape, that it may become more serious to you than what you may have took it in the past. And you, in the name of the Most High God, or the Most High, and in His Son Christ, we give the glory, we give the praise and the honor. Glory to the Father. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Join us tomorrow again, Lord's will, for the Sabbath. Shalom. Oh, Slakia. Today's Friday. Tomorrow there will be no morning talk. We don't do morning talk on the Sabbaths. There will be no morning talk, but you can definitely join us for the Sabbath classes. Shalom.